The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. I'm here every Friday at 3 o'clock. If you miss an episode, you can catch me on Spotify, catch me on Apple, or go to my website, themainstreetcode.com, and you can catch up on all the past episodes. And when we talk about our code, we talk about choice, organization, direction, and education. And we help hundreds of advisors across the country, whether they're accountants, attorneys, or other insurance advisors, who look for unique and individualized and personalized solutions. We do that for you. We do that for your clients. And we also help put together your financial team. If you know you need the solution, whether it's you're doing estate planning or business planning, and you want to have an advisor that maybe manages your investments, you want an insurance professional, you want an attorney, you want an accountant, and you want them all working together to help you with your plans. And today, we're very fortunate to have one of my business partners in some of the work we do is Mike Volcano. So, hello, Mike.
Hello there, Neil. Thank you for having me.
Right. So, Michael is a managing partner of Berkman Financial. What is Berkman Financial? What do you guys do? What are you all about?
Sure. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. So, Berkman Financial is a company I started with my partner, Jeff Baruch, about 11 years ago. And Jeff and I both came from the brokerage business, the institutional and retail world, and we saw an opportunity where small business owners were not being able to access capital in a way that gave them a solution to their working capital needs. So we started Berkman, as I mentioned, about 11 years ago, and effectively what we tried to position ourselves as solution providers. So if a small business, for any particular reason, has a capital need and for whatever reason can't access bank facilities, and what that might be is just a traditional bank line of credit, a mortgage, whatever the case may be, we can provide some sort of working capital line to help them keep the business moving.
See, that's so important. And we were joking before the show about, when I grew up, the first game I learned was Monopoly. I love Monopoly. I love chess and I love Monopoly. And Monopoly taught me a lot about business. And people say, one of the things that Monopoly teaches is you diversify your assets, right? You want to have different properties for this and that. And as a self-employed business person, and many of our listeners have businesses, a lot of family businesses bootstrap their own business and they're going along and they don't realize the principles of Monopoly. And one of the basic principles of Monopoly, and just look at the current president or the oncoming president and how he utilized, is you need access to capital to take advantage of opportunities. And Monopoly taught me that. Tell me a little bit more. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, you know what, Neil? You really nailed it. It's all about leverage in our space. There's so many opportunities for small businesses to expand, small businesses to take on new employees, new contracts. There's always opportunity for small business people. I've been a small business owner for 11 years, and I see new opportunities every day. Unfortunately, a lot of small businesses today are hamstringed because they don't have access to the capital that gives them the ability to go out and fulfill those contracts, hire new employees, just have day-to-day cash flow so they can run the business properly.
Right.
So what we try to do is be that solution provider. We really try to look at a business from the inside out. What's happening there? Tell us what the issue is. And let's look at it from not only a short-term working capital perspective. Okay, let's figure out how to solve the short-term problem. But let's look at it in a 2 or 3 stage fashion. What can we do to help improve cash flow, not only right now, but over the coming months, over the coming years? Let's use the initial financing as a stepping stone towards better opportunities down the line. I think a lot of small businesses get tripped up because of something as simple as credit, time in business, or not having the right financials in place. That's really a lot of the things I see. And so when we speak to our customers, we're asking them, okay, where's the pain pressure right now? What can we do to help you get past this one situation? But more, going forward, how can we alleviate the opportunity for us to put additional capital in place to help you expand moving forward?
Right. I think the biggest problem from a small business perspective that I see on a daily basis is not having the resources, knowing who to call, knowing who do I call, what do I do? And I tell small businesses when they're starting even, or even when going, have a banking relationship. So important, right? To have a banking
Absolutely.
relationship. And how many people today, unfortunately, the way our economy and the world has been constructed and COVID added to it, everything's become so impersonal. I'm going to do this online. I'm going to do my banking online. I'm going to go 1-800 buy insurance. I'm going to do... We have a guy we talked to earlier this week who's making $2 million a year, young 40. He went on LegalZoom to do his paperwork. I go, this makes no sense. You need real people. And if you need to expand your business, even if you do have that banking relationship is very limited. They have guidelines at that bank. They can only do so much, or, may not fit that criteria. Banks make money by issuing credit cards, quite honestly, where they're making 30-40%. They may not want to do a small business loan because I'm making 34% issuing credit cards all day long. This is not the kind of loan I may want or do, even though they may be your best friend and everything else. So you need people in place. And Mike Volcano and his firm can be a great solution provider for a small business, right?
That's where we really put ourselves. We're a small shop. We're a group of individuals that have been together for a long, long time. Once an employee comes to Berkman, they very rarely leave because we have a family type of atmosphere. And we really do want to have conversations with our customers. Yes, we deal with email. We will certainly text with people. We understand that a lot of our customers are up on roofs. They're running their businesses. They're doing everything from payroll to invoicing to collecting capital. So their time is limited. So we're really appreciative of the fact that we're really trying to utilize the opportunity at hand. But a conversation with a customer is so important so that not only can we detect and understand the short-term working capital problem that they might have, but also develop a plan for them so that going forward, they don't need to go anyplace else. They could come to us.
Right.
As you were mentioning, the only good thing about being around as long as I've been is that I know everyone. So when my customer needs a bank, I know a banker, personal. When my customer needs factoring, when my customer needs any type of financing, if I can't provide it directly, I have the resource.
What a huge resource. I wanted to go into this much deeper, One of the other things I wanted to talk about today, and maybe we'll get to it after the break, I want to talk about interest rates and how people think that this is stopping them on a short term. They're worried so much about the interest rate and not understanding what the capital can do for you to do the next thing, that they get hung up on short-term thinking and not long-term thinking. And on that, interest rates are going up. The Fed rate, we're going to talk about this after the break because we're getting close. But I want to talk about the Fed rate and how it applies. And it's not necessarily the mortgage rate and the loan rate, and all these things are a little different. But you've been listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. We're getting near our break. If you need to reach out to me, the best way is 631-647-4694. And Mike, how can they get a hold of you?
You could certainly email me at mike@berkmanfinancial.com or call me directly. My office line 646-214-7121.
Fantastic. And we'll be right back after this break. Thank you for listening. Welcome back. You've been listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. Again, I'm here every Friday at 3 o'clock. And with me is Mike Volcano. He is the managing partner of Berkman Financial. Berkman Financial provides capital for small businesses needing capital to expand or hire or for whatever the capital needs are. And, having access to capital, even if your business is doing fantastic, you want to have that in your back pocket when you see an opportunity, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, perfect. I think what you just said is really important. A lot of my customers will come to me when things are starting to tail off looking for capital, and that's fine. We're certainly there for them. But as importantly, when the business is booming, that's when you really want to have an opportunity to go in and leverage those bank statements, leverage that credit, leverage the opportunity to show the banks that you're really just moving the business forward. There's a lot of opportunity there. That's what banks want to see. Right. They want to invest in those types of businesses. So as importantly, when business is booming, that's when you really should be looking about taking advantage of the opportunity of accessing capital.
Absolutely. And, it's funny. I was speaking to someone I've had on my show before, but he's a mergers and acquisitions specialist, and he specializes in helping family businesses move on to the next level, either buying or selling a business, but he prepares businesses. And one of the big things he brought out the other night is he said, most family businesses bootstrap their own business, and they don't realize in order to make themselves attractive and to move on and make their business bigger and more attractive to the next business, they have to take advantage of a couple opportunities or expand or have access to capital to put themselves in a position to sell their business at the level they want to sell it at. That's the position I'm in now, and that's why I'm thinking, God, I got to use Mike more and really, bounce ideas off of him. I mean, this week alone, I just hired a new person. Mm-hmm. And why? Because my business is expanding. I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger and deeper. And yes, I'm bootstrapping it myself. I don't have an issue doing that. But, down the road, if I want to buy another agency, which I just bought one, and I want to acquire another firm or something, I may need access to capital. And, at some point, I may want to merge in with a bigger group or something, but I'm much more attractive as I expand. And I can't expand without having access to that next level.
Some of the biggest success stories we've had at Berkman take that exact approach. During the election, in between October and December, everyone was just standing still, right, waiting for the election. I had so many customers call me in need of capital and then pause. And the response was, I want to see who wins the election. And listen, we were all part of that. We were just mesmerized by what was going to happen. But the fact of the matter is, small business is not necessarily a correlation to an administration or the stock market or any type of interest rates per se. It's a matter of a small business owner making a decision to march forward.
Right.
Anybody that paused during those few months lost the opportunity to take a giant step forward going into 2025.
You know, that is the epitome of business. The epitome in my business as well. Well, I want to see what the estate taxes do and blah, blah, blah. You know, everything is fluid. And if you don't move forward, you know, if you let the moss, what was it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards.
You really are.
In any small business, any owner could look back on the year prior and say, if I did this, I would have been here. If I did that. You know, not every decision is going to be correct, but you need to make a call. You need to say, okay, I'm going to do this. What we really try to do for our customers is be a part of that brainstorm, be a part of that solution, understand where they're looking to go, and give the best advice we can and provide the best type of capital to get them there. It's so important for people right now to understand that there's a real opportunity going into 2025. You know, I've been around long enough to get a feel for these markets, to get a feel for how small businesses and the economy is going. I'm more optimistic now than I've been in a very, very long time. I just feel like over the last couple of years I've had like a thumb on my head and just being pressed down. Now I see opportunity. There's people want to go back to work, and there's plenty of business to be had.
Absolutely.
And as such, we need to make sure that they are fueled with capital, because that's what's going to drive revenue.
Absolutely. And you know what? You got to get away from going to the Google machine to get all your answers. The Google machine doesn't have all the answers. All it does is give you lots of commercials and send you down paths that you don't want to go. It's a waste of time when you have professionals that you can call and talk to and really put a plan together. And, you know, people are too self-reliant and think they know it all because they can look it up. But what are you really...
You know, that's their mistake. And the fact is, I tell my customers, you're a contractor. You build houses. This is what you do best.
Right.
Go and do what you do best. Provide me with the necessary paperwork and let me do what I do best. I'm a professional at finding capital and providing a solution for financing. I'm your advocate to the banks. So
Excellent.
Go back to doing what you're doing. Let's set an appointment at some point in time where we could sit down. I'll advise you, I'll show you, I'll give you direction, and then we'll solve this problem so that you could go back to running the business. And then the next time we see an opportunity, all we need to do is reconvene, start the whole process all over again.
Excellent. Hey, you know what, Mike? Before we leave today, I'd like to hear about some of the success stories you've had with some businesses. And
some of the biggest success stories we've had, Neil, really hit home for me. You know, we've done so much work in the home health care business. I had a very, very close family member that needed 24-hour care. And we had an aide come every day, and she was just an angel. She was somebody that, you know, we relied on every day. And from time to time, if she was sick or couldn't make it, it was a real problem. I have so many home health care providers that are in need of capital not because business is not good, business is booming. It's because they're not getting paid from the insurance companies fast enough.
Right.
And they run into a massive payroll problem. You know, they've got 60 home health care providers out in the field every day. It's a massive payroll problem.
Yep.
But what I'm really seeing even more now is that massive businesses, gigantic companies. We funded a private hospital out west for over $1 million for the same particular reason. They can't create a proper cash flow because they're not being paid properly. And I know just about every type of small business incurs that from time to time. Accounts receivable is at astronomical levels.
Right.
Where people never had accounts receivable now are carrying their customers' receivable for 30, 60, 90 days. That's not a sustainable cash flow situation for a small business that never had that.
Right. Doctors' offices for years have had those issues, especially as the insurance industry changes. is running after the insurance companies to get paid. And yes, they make a lot of money, but they pay a lot of money in their own insurance protecting themselves in malpractice.
I mean, another situation is we had a very large restoration company just out east in the Hamptons.
Right.
He had a 25-year banking relationship. He had a very large line of credit that he used. It was extended. He needed the bank to extend it yet again, and they took 3 months to do it. I mean, it's impossible to run a business if you can't get capital for 3 months.
Right. You need Mike.
You
That's
need
what you
instant
need.
access. Correct.
You need Mike. You need Mike Volcano. Mike, how can they get a hold of you, and how do they reach you to help?
Please feel free to call my office. My direct line is 646-214-7121, or even better, email me at mike@Berkman, BERKMAN, financial.com. This way I'll never miss a call. And feel free to call me just to bounce some ideas off me. If you have an opportunity that you're looking at, I'm happy to have a conversation.
Fantastic. I really appreciate you being here on the show today. And if you need to reach me, Neil Himmelstein, 631-647-4694.